Okay, so within this webinar, we've had our little introduction from Richard. I'm going to show a quick demonstration on the dashboard's new look area, and then we're going to hand over to one of our lovely clients, Debbie Priest, who's a project manager from NHS Tayside, and Debbie is going to show us what she's done within dashboards and how she's using dashboards within her work environment. And then we're going to ask James to explain 3 different client scenarios that we were asked about with dashboards, and he's going to demonstrate how he enhanced those clients' experiences using a little bit of extra tips and tricks and a bit of technology, web technology that is. Okay, so I'm sorry if I'm being distracted, I'm just allowing people into the webinar. So what are dashboards? Let's just have a quick look. So dashboards are useful for navigating people to the right assets, and this is when we are using our dashboards as a portal. We could use dashboards for showing data analysis from sheets, and a lot of you will be familiar with project sheets within Smartsheet, and then showing the project overview or the portfolio overview of the status of all the projects across the board. So we could use dashboards for showing data. We can also use dashboards as a data capture point. So embedding forms within dashboards allows people to go to a certain central space in order to capture new data. So we're going to be looking at all 3 of these in today's webinar. So I'm just going to do a really quick look at some new functionality. I'm only going to show these 3 different areas. So the widget creation dialog box has now moved to the right-hand pane within a dashboard design screen. I'm going to show you how to get to your extra color definition within the color palette. And we've now got grouping and summarizing reports available on dashboards. I'm just going to show you the behavior of getting a grouping and summarizing report into a dashboard, and then I'm going to stop so that I don't take up too much time. So I'm just in my Smartsheet area, and I'm just using the workspace that we created for our last webinar. I haven't got one specifically for today. This is the dashboard that we used in the portfolio management. In our last webinar, we showed how to take a PMO template from Smartsheet and get it ready for use. So this was the dashboard that came up within that template. Within here, we can go into the edit dashboard area, and this is the new look of the design screen. So now we've got some menus available, and we've got our widgets coming down the right hand side. If we click on the add widgets area, you can see we've still got the same widgets as we had before. It's just they're now embedded on the right hand pane instead of coming up in a dialog box in the middle of your screen. The only things I really want to show is the new bits. So the new functionality that came with this new look is the color palette. So I've just double clicked. There you go. I've just double clicked on this title widget, and we have our formatting toolbar come up, and then the color palette is available from a fill or a font color. And we used to just have this box of specified colors within our color palette. So the new feature here is we are now allowed custom colors. So if we click on the plus sign there, you can either type in, ooh, lost it. You can either type in your hexadecimal code for your color, or you can change the RGB numbers to get a new color. So I don't know, let's just make up a color and see what we get. 140, 110, and 25. So if I add that, we've got this lovely brown color come up, but you can use this enhancement here within dashboards to get your actual specific branding colors onto your dashboard, which is really useful. Okay, just going to save that and pop into a different dashboard just really quickly. So this is the same, but I've just cut out a load of the widgets, so I've got a bit of space. Before this latest release, when we were adding reports to our dashboard, if we tried to add a grouping and summarized report, so my task reports here is a grouping and summarized report. But before, when we were adding a grouping and summarize, we were getting a message saying this is not supported within dashboards yet. So I'm pleased to show that grouping and summarizing reports are now available in dashboards. So we've just added a report, set it up as a grouping and summarizing, and it's coming in with our properties over on the right. So I just wanted to show that it would always come up with a Gantt, but you can hide the Gantt if it's not relevant, and you can show your grouping and summarizing either expanded as groups or in a collapsed state. So in a collapsed state, you only get to see the totals. And this is a My Tasks report. So these are all tasks assigned to me, Debbie Sawyer. So I've got 8 in progress and 30 not started. It is dummy data, thank goodness. So I can either show it expanded or collapsed. If we keep it in a collapsed state and hit save, when you have a look at that chart in the dashboard, you get this button saying open source report to view more, and that will allow you to open it up and then expand those groups. Okay, so I just wanted to share that new updated feature with you. I think it's a great feature. It is going to be really handy for me and the client work that I'm supporting. But now I'd like to stop talking and hand over to Debbie Priest, who is our lovely client and has offered to show us what she does in dashboards. So I'm just going to stop sharing. It's over to you to share, Debbie.
There we go. Hi everyone, so I'm Debbie Priest from NHS Tayside. We have been using Smartsheets in the last 2 years for development of our health and safety data. More data collection, analysis and reporting. We're currently at the stage of the collection of the data. We're not yet at the stage of analysis and reporting fully back to the board, to the government and to the HSE, but that will be coming as we get the data collected. So I'm just going to share our dashboard as it sits at the moment. Now, can you all now see the dashboard? Okay, so we have had to introduce quite a basic format for the dashboard to the client, well, not to the client, to the staff. We've got 15,000 staff, all with varying levels of requirements for reporting and analysis of data, but they all need to be able to input data, so it is quite a basic format. The overall corporate dashboard is shown here. It gives detail of what Smartsheet is, what the next steps are as a line manager, a service manager or a clinical lead, and then as a member of staff. It gives quick links here to sign up to Smartsheets. It gives to a user guide and overview of the system which I've created, and the standard operating procedure. The links are all live and connected directly to our intranet page as well. There's also a system access request form which allows access to the system. As we're dealing with public data, we have to control who can view the data, so we need a system access request, and that's monitored by myself. So all data is shared only to the people who have accessed the request through this form. There's also demonstration videos which I have created for the Smartsheet overall system, and then further down there is demonstration videos for specific workspaces as well. And there's also an opportunity for them to book further training sessions with myself using the link here as well. So we have asked all areas to complete baseline assessments for specific areas, so those links are directly there. So I will show you the actual workspaces we have. So we've kind of set it up in the idea that we're looking to make it look more modern and sort of develop the overall health and safety culture. So we're looking something that's quite eye-catching and can be developed further using mobile phones. So we're using it so the staff can input data through mobile phone use or through PC use. So some of the workspaces have been set up as information portals. So this is, as you wish, a add-on to our intranet page, but the bonus is we can collect data as well as provide information to the staff. So for example, our management of health and safety policy, if you click that link, this gives a very basic dashboard or workspace, sorry. So it just gives our access to our policy. This is all obviously live to the staff on our StaffNet page, which is our intranet, but also through the health and safety corporate Smartsheet system. This strategy and action plan is the same. It's just open single documents. We then move into a different type of dash or workspace, which is the award scheme, which gives links to signing up to our health and safety award scheme. You click the links directly, it opens up the forums, it opens up the link to the document relating to the topic. And we have the links going back always from the workspaces to the overall corporate dashboards. So that opens back and we always go back to the central page. We've used it for a further information portal for our health and safety passport. So this links our little passports that have been set up in paper format for all staff, but we've made it electronic within Smartsheet. So it's shown as a page turner app to the actual document as well, given details of different health and safety topics. So that was the passport. We have analysis of data. So this is staff at risk from COVID, age assessments of the staff. So obviously we have to monitor our staff in relation to their COVID age. So this is the at-risk employees within NHS Tayside. So we have 2,515 moderate level staff, 339 high-risk staff and 92 very high-risk staff. So it gives then further analysis on where those staff work, which areas of the board they work in, given the direct reports as well there, and obviously the control measures and mitigations we've employed to assist those staff in being at work or working from home. So that has given a more analysis of data within the dashboard. So it's all stored centrally, it's all stored in one area for the staff. The links that they shared are sufficient to allow them access to the data they require at the level they're authorised to see as well. So we have further topical information based on links as well. So this is links to specific COVID data from the government and from the board. So the staff can clearly see what their expectations are as a line manager and as a member of staff. We have in-depth data on face-fit testing, which has been quite a topical subject within the board, obviously due to COVID. So we have data on analysis of solutions for face-fit testers, but also on the wearer sheet on this is which so individual staff members and which mask they actually wear. It's going to take a little while to load this because it's quite a substantial amount of data in this one. It's difficult when you're sharing over Zoom or Teams. So this data is very good for analysing the data for staff. So managers can log in, see which areas they need to have further FaceFit training on. Also, it helps them with procurement, so they can analyse which masks they need to order for their department, but also it gives assurance to the board that the adequate FaceFit testing has been completed for all areas within the clinical divisions. We also have a basis for skin health responsible persons. So these are the responsible persons within the board who can check skin health of clinical staff in the organisation. So we have a register of all responsible persons, which is accessible by all line managers in the organisation to show who could check skin health for individual staff members. So you can see we have used it for various uses, not only to collect data, analyse data and report on data, but also to give information to staff members on topical health and safety subjects within the area, the board, to staff regarding what they need to do at their next steps as a line manager or as a member of staff. Also, most of this is done through submissions to obviously the workspaces through the completion of forms. So I will open up a simple form which we have used and linked to the data analysis and reporting. So this is the working from home data, which we're asking areas to submit through the use of this forum. It's then shown on the collation, the working from home dashboard. So this data is reported to the board on a weekly basis through the workspace reporting. So as you can see, we have used it as in various forums and different formats, but obviously the development of this has also been done in collaboration with David Bauer, sorry, on the call here as well. He's done a substantial amount of work in our overall dashboard development. So does anybody have any questions, or is it, I think I'll pass over back to Debbie.
Oh, thank you, Debbie. That was a great demonstration. And I think what we can take from the work that you've done there is the understanding that dashboards are not just one screen that just show a few charts. Dashboards can be utilized and programmed to give a really comprehensive portal. Yeah, so we've got some comments coming through on the chat. That was really impressive. Thank you so much for sharing what you've done. We had a question come in. Someone's curious if a non-licensed user that is shared as a dashboard editor can update a widget or add a picture to the dashboard for collaboration on projects. So can I answer that one offline, Lance? And I will send you an email with an answer to that, because I need to just concentrate on the wording of that to make sure I answer the correct question there. But I will follow that up. Okay, so moving on. So thanks very much to Debbie. We are just going to have a little look at how we can take the Smartsheet dashboards and just enhance them a little bit more. So you know that as we work with SBP, we work on the core subject of Smartsheet, and we do as much work as possible within our client solutions, within the licensed product that you will pay for. So sometimes we get requests from clients where they need something to happen within the core Smartsheet product that isn't quite programmed into the product just yet. And that is where we listen and we understand, we explore, and we come up with just slightly enhanced solutions that keep the product being used in Smartsheet, but we sort of add a little bit of magic to make it work a bit more smoothly. So James is going to demonstrate with us a couple of scenarios that we have added enhanced dashboard solutions for. So I'll just set the scene for the first scenario here. We had a client that had a number of workspaces, about 35 workspaces, and within each workspace they had a series of dashboards that showed a rolling 12-month figure. So the rolling 12-month figure every single month needed amending. The oldest month needed to drop off and the newest month needed to add on to each of the reports. And each dashboard had multiple charts, probably 7 or 8, even more maybe, charts per dashboard that needed the range for the chart to be amended by shifting forward a month every month. So if you imagine having one dashboard and going into one report and let's say 6 charts every month and just ticking an extra column, unticking a column, and then just moving a data range inside every single chart, and then multiply that by at least 35 times, that's a lot of manual work to keep those dashboards maintained. So they came to us and said, is there a way of getting these data ranges to move forward automatically? So James developed a solution. He's going to not show you the client solution, but he's mocked up a representation of that client solution in a demo. And I'm going to hand over to James to take over at this point.
Thanks, Debbie. Yes, I'm going to show you a very pared down version of that with a small amount of data in comparison. Give me a thumbs up if you can see my screen. Lovely. Okay. So yes, the client in question, they had something in the region of 600 to 650 different charts that needed to be updated every month, which is frankly ridiculous. So there's a lot of work involved there. I'm going to show you just a simple version of what goes on there. So here we have just a standard sheet showing revenue per department, 4 departments, and we've got data from January 20 all the way through to up to and including May this year, and there's space for going to the end of the year. So it's just some revenue data, made up data for those months so far. Now, in a standard dashboard, this is a report that shows that very same data, and this is split by department. You can see the change in the revenue over time. Now, that's all well and good, and this is obviously a very small amount of data, but imagine this being 600 charts. This is the kind of scenario that the client was in when when they got their, in this case, June 21 data in. Let's put some data in. So June 21 data has arrived from finance, but of course the dashboard is as yet not updated. First thing you need to do 2 things. First thing you need to do is you need to update the report here by going into the report itself. This is the report. And as Debbie said, what you need to do ordinarily is you need to swap a column in and out. So you need to, let's go back here, you need to take out the rolling 12 months up to the end of May was June 20 up to May 21, right? So it was a rolling 12 months was that, right? But we now want that. We want to start in July 20 and then in June 21. So, so the old way of doing it would be to get rid of June 20 and add in June 21, like that. And that would be how they were going about updating their reports. But I just refresh and show you that working. Not that this is the solution that I'm offering to you, but this is part of what they do. And that doesn't take very long. But like I say, when you multiply it by a large factor, see there's the June 21 data in there. And similarly here, very, very briefly, what they would do each time, they'd edit this, each of these, and they'd have to go in here and change the range. So it opens it up. Everything's slower when you're presenting on Zoom, but it will get there in a minute. So there you go. There's the range as it stands. We need to edit that range, move that range from June 20 to July 20 up to June 21, right? So that's what they did. And then, of course, Smartsheet very helpfully changes your format to put your format back, right? So that's what they would do. That's the process they would go through. Not a very long process per chart, but when you get into large numbers, it really is. So the solution we presented to them was to not point here to the raw data, but instead point to a new sheet. Let's refresh that. Point to a new dashboard data sheet. It's just a data sheet that takes its own data from the original data, but it just gets the relevant months. All we got here is June, in this case still, June 20 through to May 21, so I haven't updated it yet. So all the dashboard just deals with this data. This is the dynamic dashboard. As like I say, as yet I haven't updated it. It's still showing up to May 21, but I don't have to go in here and edit either the report or any of these charts. What I need to do is go in here, click on the left hand element, go to cell links, and I just need to go to July 20 through to June 21. Just update that. That updates its data here, save it. And because our dynamic, relatively dynamic dashboard is pointing to this data, that's all you need to do. If I refresh this, you see that now we've got July 20 up to June 21 for the report, and similarly for all the charts. Imagine that multiplied several fold. It's an awful lot quicker than going through and having to update each item individually. If you'd like to know how we did this, if this is something that comes up in your organization where someone is going through and having to laboriously change lots and lots of widgets within a dashboard, let us know, and we can talk to you about how to speed things up for you.
Excellent, thank you, James. So yeah, the main part of that is that the solution that we gave to that customer on moving data ranges forward for rolling months was an in Smartsheet solution, just using Smartsheet very cleverly. So James can help do that. So moving on to scenario 2, this scenario needed a little bit of extra support from outside of Smartsheet. So for this one, the client is supporting multiple sites and they needed dashboard data available at site level, but they had like 70 odd sites. So they didn't want to have to set up 70 different dashboards with 70 different statistics sheets, all providing similar information. They wanted the ability to have a dashboard and have a little control in the corner of the dashboard to say, tell me the data on site A, and then the dashboard would update to site A. Tell me the data about site C, and it would update to site C. And this is something that I know a lot of clients out there that use Smartsheet are looking for, this dynamic updating real time of dashboard widgets without having to go and reprogram any of the reports to look at a different sheet or to look at a different filter. So James has provided a solution using some web technology, and he's embedded that solution inside a Smartsheet dashboard so that to the client and to the users that are using that Smartsheet solution, it is not that noticeable that it isn't a Smartsheet dashboard. So rather than showing the client's own solution, James has again done a little demo based on a generic idea that we all have which is based on timesheets. So any of you that have a timesheet sort of scenario that you want to analyze the time that's been spent in the timesheets through a dashboard, James is going to show us how we can use some web technology to get dynamic dashboards.
Yes, so yes, the scenario, that the client scenario was a fairly big solution with a large data set. What I've got here for you is, of course, the test data is very much smaller. This is 600. I've got 600 rows of timesheet data, one time entry per row. We've got the employee data, the employee name. We've got a project and a task, a date, the number of hours worked, and a brief description of each. Now, and I'm using this to show how you can slice and dice with a smarter dashboard. So this is the smarter dashboard. What this is, if I edit the dashboard, is, see here, this is a web content widget with, and it goes to a link on our website. And this is effectively just a web page that will only show when you get to this via the Smartsheet dashboard. So so this, I'll cancel that. I click load. So yeah, this is a good way of slicing and dicing your data without having to leave the dashboard. So what we have here is this data here currently, because I've not filtered anything. This is the whole of the 600 rows of data that we had here in this sheet. It's exactly that sheet. It's coming straight from Smartsheet. Or the only thing that's not showing there is the description. You can get to the description by clicking on any of the rows, and it shows you in the top right hand corner there. It shows you the data, the full record, which includes the description. On the left hand side here, we have a control panel. It's quite a simplistic one at the moment. You could have, and the solution for client will have the ability to change view, so you can have multiple different views of different data. This is keeping it simple at the moment. I've just got the timesheet data here, but imagine that there's nothing to stop you from having a drop down or whatever type of control you want that can allow you to go to lots of different types of data all on the same dashboard. If I look at, we've got a few made up employees here. You can specify any of those, and the dashboard, the data will change. There's the data changing there. You'll see that's gone to one solid line, solid color, because this chart there is hours per employee, and I've just selected just the one employee now. So you can see that Dan there has worked 164 hours. And this then becomes, down the bottom here, this is hours per project. You can see this is, because I've got this filter on for Dan only, this is all Dan's work on all the different projects that Dan's working on. Excuse the undefined there. This is because this is test data. I missed that. I can also drill down further. I can say, okay, all right, I've got Dan's data there, but I want to see Dan's work for last month. And actually, he didn't do a lot, did he, last month? Just work on, there's just a little bit of work there, and some work on 3 different projects, tiny little bit there. Let's reset and go back to everything. So you can see that using the controls on the left, you can filter on just one particular project. You can see there's only a tiny bit of work been done on that project. Let's find another one that's got a bit more on it. You can see that you've got different people working. You can see who's been working on this particular project, on project 42 there. And so as you can see, you can so let's everything for this quarter for that project, for example. So you can split this data down in any way you like. So if I reset again and just show you how these update, you can see here at the moment currently there's quite a few projects here. Because that's the full list of projects. If I just specify Ella, then the project list gets smaller because it only shows you the projects that Ella's got done some work on. So it's responsive to what's going on around it, to what's going on in the other filters. Also, this little button here is for updating. If you think that the underlying Smartsheet data might be being updated at this point, then, for example, let's take this entry here, 2338 is this entry. Let's have a look at that. Let's go and find 2338 in the underlying data. There it is. That's a 1 hour bit of work. Let's change that to 4. Let's say that was 4 hours and save it. And go back to the dashboard. If you want to just check that you've got the latest data from Smartsheet, you just click that button and it'll go away, and that should become 4 in a second. There it is. So it goes and gets the latest data from Smartsheet. So that is, like I say, you can do a lot more with this sort of thing, a lot more. But this is just a single view's worth of the sort of thing that you can do with a smarter dashboard embedded in Smartsheet. And I was just going to say, Deb, if you know, if you want to know anything more about that, as always with these things, just let us know in the evaluation form if that you'd like to talk to us about it, and we can we will get on a call with you and talk about your requirements.
Perfect, thank you for that. We've got some really lovely comments coming into the chat window while you were demonstrating there. So someone was saying this was awesome. They love the control panel and the ability to filter dynamically within the dashboard, and they think of loads of places where they can use this. And I'm sure that that thought is echoed elsewhere within our attendees today. So lastly, then we've got a little bit of time to go through scenario 3. So what we're doing here is just showing how we at SVP can take a client's requirements and just enhance the solution from the core Smartsheet product if it's needed. And this client came to us and asked us about using a dashboard as a meeting hub. They wanted to be able to use a dashboard to create and collect minutes from meetings. They wanted to be able to show the actions from the previous meetings, and they wanted to be able to press a button at the end of the meeting and have all of the actions that were captured within the forms on the dashboard presented into a PDF template and then attached and sent out to all the attendees of the meeting. But they didn't want loads and loads of people having to sit there and type everything up in Word and having made notes or Google Sheets or Google Docs or whatever. So James has developed, again using some web technology, an interface that can be embedded into a Smartsheet dashboard linked to underlying Smartsheets to create just what they wanted. So again, we're not showing you the actual client's solution, we've just mocked up a demo for this webinar today. So over to you, James, for this third enhancement demonstration.
Yeah, thanks, Debbie. So yeah, so this one is a bit more bespoke. It's quite particular what they wanted, although I can imagine that other people would want something quite similar in different ways. But this is about meeting minutes particularly. Although you can see, you'll be able to see that the principles will work for all sorts of different applications. Here we have another Smartsheet dashboard and another bit of web content put within it. And this is a meeting minutes form. If I click on new meeting, so the scenario is we've just got into a meeting. Whoever the minute taker is, will go in here and click on that. And in this case, let's say it's a one-to-one. No, I've also done one before, meeting with Diane. And it's today. And this is associated with a particular project. This is how's the project going? How's everything going for you? So that's project 1. And Jason's taking the minutes, and it's Jason and Diane in the meeting, right? So that's the basic setup. This is the meeting. Add that in. That's going away and adding a new meeting to Smartsheet. And at that point, we're ready to add some minutes in to that meeting. So let's think about what we might add in as the first minute. So So let's do, so perhaps let's say very briefly, I'll try and be quick. Let's say that Diane's finished there are 3 different types of minute in this particular example. There's work completed, there's things that looking ahead to what's going on next, and there's any issues that you've got. Well, let's say that she's gone and completed the high level design for whatever the project is. It's her responsibility. Say completed and ready for checking. I'll try and be quick with this. I know that watching someone else type isn't fun. That's going away and that's adding it into the relevant sheet in Smartsheet, and it will pop up here now. There it is. Let's quickly add another one. I won't do very much, but there you go. It's gone and added a new row in Smartsheet. Let's say that perhaps looking ahead, the boss says that the proof of concept for this, whatever this project is, needs to be done by complete by the end of the month. No pressure. Right. So that's something, another minute that needs to be entered. And I'll just add one more for a different type of activity, different types of minutes that we've got here. Let's say that Diane has an issue, saying who's going to do the integration testing. Maybe someone's left. I don't know. Right. So standard meeting minutes, all sorts of things you can do with it, obviously, and this is the sort of things. So in this pane here, you can see there's the list of items as they stand, and someone can read these back at any point. This is what the client wanted. You want to read it, look at this in real time and check that they're right. Oh no, that's not right. Let's edit that. That wasn't right. Let's say on the next month. So that needs to be completed by the end of next month. Okay, you can go update, and it goes and it updates Smartsheet in the background. All the data is kept in Smartsheet. When you're done, that will update in a second. There you go. When you're done, and you can go and create a PDF, which will take a few seconds. What it's doing there is it's using our smarter PDF creator tool. So sort of link the 2 tools together. It's going off and creating a PDF based on the template for this, the meeting minutes template. I'm padding because it's still thinking about it. It'll be done in a minute. What it's going to do is it's going to, when it's created, it's going to, this is the sheet that holds all the meeting data. So every meeting is in here, not all the minutes, but each of the meetings. Again, because we're on Zoom, bandwidth is a little slow, so bear with me for a second. While it's doing that, let me see if that's done. Then it's still thinking about it. Everything's going slow. Yeah, this is the meeting tracker. This just holds one row for each meeting, and the PDF will be put into the row of this sheet when it's done. Come on. Live telly, eh? It's still thinking about it. It'll be done in a second. So I'll wrap up while it's doing that, because that's basically what I wanted to show you, is that the solutions like this, this is quite bespoke, and we can do all sorts of things using Smartsheet data. There you go. I was hoping that would finish. Let me just show you this. There's our that's our list. Oh, look ahead activities didn't turn up. Oh, it's because I must have changed that to yeah. I did. That's my error. Human error there. That was supposed to be under look ahead. But there you can see that it's just based on it's a standard Google Doc template. All the data gets put into. That's our smarter PDF creator, which I think I showed you a couple of months back. And so there you go, and that also gets added into, if we just very briefly refresh this, that gets, as I said, added into the row of Smartsheet. There it is. It's the same thing. I'll open it just to show you. That's the same document. So that's that. So I think just sort of shows really that with web integration, the Smartsheet dashboards, we can do all sorts of different things that you wouldn't necessarily be able to do with native Smartsheet.
Perfect. And one last thing, I apologise, James. I was doing a little bit of chatting in the chat window.
All right.
Did you mention that if you're doing editing of previous minutes and you create the PDF again, it does version control in that attachment within the main Smartsheet, so you can see all the different versions and when all the edits have happened, which is really good, really amazing. So you've got version control with your PDFs that you're creating as well, which is excellent. So the reason that we're showing you this is just to give you that idea, that concept that nothing is too big for Smartsheet. You know, you can do so much within this product. We love this product, we love supporting this product, and we love providing enhancements to this product. So as always, at the end of this webinar, I will be sending out an evaluation form. We've had some fabulous feedback on past webinars. So, and I do sit and look and read every single one. So if at the end of this, if I send you out a link, if you would be so kind as to give us a little bit of feedback. And then if you want to follow up and find out a little bit more about any of these different solutions for dashboards, then that's the form to request more information from. So I'm probably going to hand back to Richard to sum up, but just thanks very much to James for your presentation here, and a big thank you to Debbie for joining us and showing us your dashboard solution, Debbie. It's awesome to see what our clients are doing within this product. So over to Richard to wrap up.
Just to say, well, before handing over to you, Richard, I'm trying to show the version control, but it's taken a moment. I've updated the PDF, but take our word for it.
It does work.
That's the beauty, I think, of live webinars, isn't it? I think we like a challenge. So thank you, team. I think that was an excellent job. I think we've given our clients plenty to think about, and I think if you'd like to know more, then we offer a free initial consultation. So I think either look at our website, which is a great source of let's say solutions. We've got a number of these videos now, which is pretty good. So that's smarterbusinessprocesses.com. If you really want to challenge James Harris directly, then I think probably the idea is do it in the evaluation form, or if you want to set up an initial free consultation to discuss the challenge you want to put to him, then I think James and his team love to be challenged, so give it a go. I think from a point of view of recent changes within Smartsheet, we've seen some new licensing arrangements, which is called Smartsheet Advanced Licenses. And Gwen is our co-founder, and also she looks after all of our reseller accounts. So if anybody's got any questions on the costs, for example, of advanced licensing or the functionality, then she's the person to ask. And once again, that can come in via the evaluation form, or you can put a direct call into us. So I'd like to mention to you that we have built out, and I'll put this in the chat window, a number of smarter apps, and the most popular one is, and I'll just put this up on screen, if I can find the right one. No, I can't find it, sorry. You'll have to use the link on the chat window. What it is about is things like drop-down list manager, the variations on it. You can have one-to-many or other variations depending on the actual use case. We've got backup manager, and we've got a global find and replace, which is a pretty powerful tool. In fact, it's very powerful. You could even be dangerous in the wrong hands. So I'd like you to have a think about these solutions, because these are available by subscription. Effectively, if you say yes today, you can have them tomorrow, and off you go. I think thank you very much for attending today. I'm going to pass back to Debbie so she can tell us what the subject of the next meeting is going to be.
Oh, yes, I forgot, didn't I? Yeah, so next time we're coming back in July, and we're going to really focus on web forms. So I don't know if you know, but at SBP, we monitor the Smartsheet community forums, and we answer and support lots and lots of you out there that are putting questions to the community. And a number of questions came up around the use of forms. For example, someone wanted forms that update rows rather than create rows. That might be something that you've often considered. So again, James and his amazing technology has provided some web form solutions that use in-house Smartsheet forms, but also some advanced technology forms that have really helped other clients out there. So we're going to focus our whole webinar on web forms next time. So watch out for the invite. Okay.
Thank you, everybody. And we've finished 5 minutes early, so that's pretty good, isn't it?
Thank
Have the
you
rest
for
of
your
the hour off.
attendance. Well, no, you can fill in your form and then have the hour off.
Good idea.
Thanks,
Thanks very much, everyone, to all around the world.
Thank you.